Sex. When we talk about sex, most of us here will be thinking about the sexual activity done in and out of a relationship. But no one will be considering the word sex in a whole different kind of context, such as education. So why not? Why don't 90% of us here never consider the sexual education to be implemented in our education in Malaysia? Why? So I am Anne Rachel Walker with my friend Mugilavani Subramaniam. We'll be presenting our supporting points of implementing sexual education in the education system of Malaysia. So those who are listening here might point out that maybe talking about sex to our children or teaching about sexual education to our students will be too sensitive for our Malaysian culture. No, because we have several points to negate this mindset. CSE, which stands for Comprehensive Sexual Education, which is a curriculum-based process of teaching and learning which focuses on the cognitive, physical, social and emotional aspect of sexuality. As students learn about CSE, they would consider themselves to equip them with knowledge, skills and attitudes and values about sexuality and things concerning sexuality. So, this CSE will not increase sexual activities, sexual risk-taking or even behavior or even HIV infection. It will never produce negative effects, but it will bring out few, in fact, many positive impacts. As students learn about sexuality in this subject of CSE, they would learn the correct and the reliable source about sexuality and things concerning that. I am sure that most of us as teenagers would be very curious to know about what is sex about and all things considering about that. So if we implement this CSE in our education system, there are many benefits. First is they will realize our children, our future generation will realize the value of their health, their well-being and their dignity. So there are a lot of social issues concerning illegal sexual activity. So when they learn correct ways of handling their sexuality or their sexual hormones and all, they would be able to have good attitudes to sexual and reproductive aspect, and their health about this aspect will change. So they will talk openly to their parents about sexuality if the mindset of parents change and they accept the education of sexuality for their children. And as a result of this, early pregnancies or unintended pregnancies among teenagers will be prevented and for sure will be reduced. Next, teenagers will develop positive and respectful social and sexual relationship. So under this gender equality will be present, whereby gender equitable attitudes, confidence and self-identity will be produced by teenagers not considering their genders. So each genders will be respecting each other regardless of the difference of their sexuality in different kinds of aspects like hormones and all. Secondly, teenagers will be able to make responsible choices in regarding of their identity and relationship. So when we talk about sexuality, it always concerns about relationship. So when teenagers make any mistake in their relationship decisions, they will always end up making mistake in their sexuality department. So if the implementation of CSE, which is Comprehensive Sexuality Education, is strongly approved and agreed by every society in the education system, these are the benefits that will follow. And there's more to it. I'll pass it on to my friend Mugilavani Subramaniam.
Hi. So I believe that each and every one of us have gone through a tiny heart attack when we wanted to talk things related to sex education, whenever we wanted to open up anything related to sex to anyone. I'm pretty much sure that everyone feels the same way, whereby some might feel overwhelming about this topic and some might feel uncomfortable to any extent and beyond, because I have felt the same way. We Malaysians, I believe we are so much conventional although we are in a progress to the 21st century lifestyle, where yet topics like sex education are still taboo and restricted in our society. Even the our biology teacher, who has the authority to speak about this topic, tend to avoid and skip them, and some even just gives a glimpse about this topic for the sake that it is in the syllabus. There are none of them that I have gone through have took any initiative related to sex education in order to produce a proper education that could build self-love within ourselves in order to live a healthy lifestyle. And also, mostly Malaysian parents tend to resist to hand all hers through the sensitive and vulnerable phase. I don't know why they tend to do that. Although they have the capability to provide us enough of sex education, they do not do. Whenever they tend to avoid body and sex related questions, issues, this will only lead to unnecessary curiosity, whereby youngsters, children, they tend to find out answers from wrong sources, and eventually they figure out what makes them distrust their parents, as they don't get the answers to their questions, which will further lead to that conversation within the parents and children, as the children do not believe the parents anymore, which will also leave a scratch in the children parents bonding. So, unlike this generation, I want my generation to have a disconnect from the orthodox upbringing and provide the upcoming children, youngsters, a safe environment to communicate such topics at a comfort zone, probably at home, at school, anywhere, with anyone they could, in a way that they can feel safe to speak out whatever they feel, to express the thoughts they wanted to related to this sex education. So, I believe that sex education, indeed from a very young age, helps children or youngsters to live a positive lifestyle, as they will tend to love their self, love their body, love everything of them, rather than body shaming their self. So hereby, I would like to highlight that sex education provides insights about sexual abuse, whereby during the sex education, children will be taught regarding safe and unsafe touch. So, being taught about safe and unsafe touch helps children or youngsters to identify a sexual predator, and also they will be aware of being one in the future. So, for example, when they know about safe and unsafe touch, they will know that they have the rights to feel safe at any time, whereby when they are taught what is safe and unsafe touch, they can whenever they face unwanted situations, they could find help for themselves to be in a safe environment. For example, good touches make them feel loved and cared about, hugs, kiss, and things like this. However, unsafe and bad touches hurt your body, feelings, and everything that they might not have wanted. Every children or youngster, they might have different perspective regarding good touch and bad touch. However, them being properly educated about regarding what is good touch and safe touch, they might know the circle around, okay, this is what they should go through, this is what they shouldn't, so that they can keep their body safe from everyone in a safe environment. Normally, predators just need 2 minutes of alone of a time with the child to ruin their whole life. With the response, I have seen more than children with the age of 10 and above, they are facing and experiencing sexual abuse. So sex abuse are everywhere. The predators are everywhere. With just 2 minutes with the time with your child alone can ruin their whole life. So you can't really help what is really happening, but then you can impact is their response and your response to it. Just imagine if what if the sexuality of health is discussed at home or discussed at school as probably through sex education, if body autonomy is given top priority and the child is allowed to express whatever they feel, they think, this might make them to feel trusted, to have a proper bonding within the family or within the school with the teachers and students, as they give proper information, and they will feel safe to not feel that someone is crossing the boundaries. So when such abusive things situation occur, the child has the capability to respond back, to report anything immediately to the parents, to the teacher, to anyone who they feel comfortable, who they feel secure with. So this can keep away the child from entering into any toxic lifestyle whereby the children or youngsters, they will never feel judged or shamed, because parents who impart sex education trust the child first, so they have the confidence, they have the secured feel to share their what they are going through, what they have been going through in any situation. So this is one of the main thing which sex education can impart to children and youngsters. We might not be able to protect the children every day, every time, in all the situations. We can't go wherever they go, but then we can protect them against ending up with the trauma and hatred towards their body and also sexuality. So thank you.